Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, back here for Daily Shakeup number 657. And today I want to ask you this question. What is the difference between a great leader and great leadership? What is the difference between a great leader and great leadership? And we could probably ask a similar question in terms of how do we know the difference between a good leader and good leadership? Notice the key difference here. The difference is between leader versus leadership. And I would argue there's really two key differences. One is typically when we talk about leaders, great leaders, good leaders, we're thinking positionally. Someone has a leadership position, and we look at them and say they're either a bad, good, or great leader because they have a position or a role and responsibility as a leader, right? Now let's think about what is leadership. Leadership is typically and ought to be independent of roles and positions. It's how we show up in a moment. That act right there, that question right there, that silence right there in some cases was great leadership or good leadership. The other thing we need to think about is that too often we look at them as the same and they're not. And we get trapped in this belief that everything's about positions. Even when we say we know leadership is not positional, that sometimes people have positions of leadership, but people can absolutely and do every day lead without positions of leadership, without designated roles. What I like to say is they lead without position or without permission. You see, if you show up consistently and demonstrate good leadership, you will then be seen as a good leader. However, I've learned in our culture that often, even if you keep showing up in your leadership in a strong way, you're often not referred to as a leader because you don't have the title. Leadership has nothing to do with titles. There are plenty of people with leadership titles who aren't leading. The question is not whether you can attain one of those positions. Maybe that's your goal, but that's not the question. The question is, are you showing up with leadership in the individual moments every day? That's it for today. Keep taking care of yourself and everyone around you. And by all means, stay connected.